Hey guys, welcome back to another Fat Boy Slims video. Today we're going to be talking about your post-op liquid diet. This is going to be the first diet that you're going to do once you're released from hospital after your surgery. We've got some tips, we've got some facts, we've got some tricks. We're going to help you make sure it's a success. So please watch the intro, check out the video, and I hope you enjoy the content. Thanks. Thank you very much for finding my video today. If you want to hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. It'll make sure that you never miss another video again. Thank you very much and enjoy the content. Hey guys, how are we doing today? Right, okay. So before we get into the video today where we're going to be talking about your post-op liquid diet, let's just do a little catch up on me so far. I'm up to 26.9 kilograms lost. That's 4 stone 3 pounds. 59.3 pounds total, and I've lost 41.7 of my excess body weight. Tomorrow will be 10 weeks post-op, so I'm ahead of where I should be according to the charts I've seen. Very happy with my progress so far. So without further ado, let's get into the video. There's just one thing I would like to say. This is a little bit of a disclaimer. I am not a dietitian. I am not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. This is based on what my surgery team said to me, what I found worked for me, and what I used myself. I am not telling you to ignore your surgery team's advice. I'm not telling you to ignore your doctor's advice. This is just an indication of what worked for me and my personal experiences. So please don't fill the comments with things about my doctor said this, can I do this? Listen to your doctors. They're the people that are supposed to look after you. They're the professionals. This is just my experience, okay? So now we've got that little disclaimer out of the way. Let's talk about it. So we are here today to talk about the post-op liquid diet, not your liver reduction diet that you have pre-surgery, which a lot of surgical teams use a milk diet, I believe, for. Thank God my surgical team didn't. They had a slightly different diet for liver reduction, basically a low calorie, low carbohydrate diet. So things that I found useful to have during my liquid diet was a water bottle, preferably one with marking on it, so you can see how much liquid you're consuming. A stick blender, if you intend on making your own soups and things like that. You definitely need a stick blender for your pureed stage, which is going to be the stage after this one. And a measuring jug. With my diet, almost everything I was drinking was coming in 200ml measurements. So having that jug there so you can learn how to eyeball things after a few days is vital, so you make sure you're getting the amount that you need. Also remember, if you are a diabetic, you will need to have some sort of carbohydrate or sugar intake in order to prevent yourself from having hypoglycemic attacks. I'm a diabetic. I was using pre-made protein drinks which contain some sugar and carbohydrates, which was enough to make sure that I never went below, I think 4.7 was my lowest blood sugar levels. But if you're not a diabetic, then you don't need to worry about that. Okay, so let's talk about a few tips that I've felt helped me. So use all your meals and snacks to be consistent throughout the day. If you're always planning, prepping, or having a meal or a snack, your mind is occupied, your body is occupied, and you're not thinking about foods in other ways. In the beginning, your liquid diet will be very easy. As it goes through, it will become harder and harder as you start feeling like you want to actually eat something. Protein is priority. It will always be a priority. Now, I was told I should be expecting between 600 and 800 calories a day when I was on my liquid diet. And from that, you want to be hitting 60 grams of protein. So you need to find ways to make liquid heavy in protein. Pre-made protein shakes are a godsend, but make sure you read the labels. They are not all created equally. Some of them I found have very, very high sugar content, very, very high carbohydrate content, and obviously not suitable for our needs, especially not for our diabetic needs. Hot drinks are filling, but when you're in a liquid diet, there is a place for them. Always follow the advice of your surgical team, and don't forget to take your medication. If you're anything like me, when you come out from hospital, you will have a very, very large bag of medication. It can be very confusing. I had all of it set up on the side over there, all of them stacked out with the papers in front of them, so I knew exactly what I could take. Obviously now I know it like the back of my hands, so I know what I have to take. But in the beginning it was slightly confusing. You should be expecting to drink at least 2 litres of water a day. So this is a 1 litre bottle. So by having a 1 litre bottle, I knew that I would have to drink 2 of these a day in order to get my 2 litres in. You will feel like you are constantly putting something into your mouth, and there will be times where you really don't want to. But it's very important that you try to. I feel like I'm going over all this stuff really quite fast. But this is just after your surgery. You're going to feel different. It's a really great word, different. You're going to feel weird. You're going to be in pain possibly. I wasn't after a couple of days of surgery, but you're going to feel uncomfortable. Everything's going to feel strange going in. You're going to be worried about how things are coming out. You will probably be on a laxative that will be prescribed to you in order to help things come out the other end. It's going to be strange. You're going to want to do everything slowly, and you literally will, if you want to do the day's worth of food, which I'm about to go through, and hit your 2 litres of water a day, you will be constantly having something in your hands from 9 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, drinking. This is to be expected. There is not a lot you can do about it. It's just, if you're going to get everything in, it's what you need to do. So let's talk about a day's worth of food. And it's going to be quite a few meals, because each meal is going to be around 200 millilitres of liquid. And on top of that, you need to remember your water. So you're going to start the day with your breakfast. I was given a list of different things that you could use. I like a simple life, so I pretty much had the same thing every single day. My 200 mils of liquid for breakfast was a protein drink. Your breakfast should be a high protein source, and mine was a pre-mixed protein drink. UFit 22s were on sale at Asda for like £1 a bottle or something at the time. You can still buy them online from other places for a very similar price, although I think the Asda price has gone up now. £1 a bottle, and they were 330 mils or something like that, so I'd measure 200 mils from that, and that would be my breakfast. Then a couple of hours later, you're having your mid-morning snack, and your mid-morning snack on my diet plan was a milky coffee. When you're drinking coffee or soups or anything, an easy way of increasing the protein content of this is to add semi-skimmed dry milk powder. So when you make a coffee, I was told to add 4 big spoons of dried semi-skimmed milk powder into the coffee to boost its protein content. Doesn't make it really taste any different, and when you're talking about 200 mils of coffee, it's not really difficult to get it down. I would strongly suggest that you stay away from any espresso type of coffee. When I was just about halfway through my pureed stage, I had to go do something at work. I'm a restaurant manager, so at the moment I'm furloughed. But I had to go do something at work, and I asked someone to make me a latte, and asked for it very milky. But even very milky, I found that hurt my stomach. Your mileage may vary, but that's what it did to me. So I've just stuck to instant coffee, and I've been fine with it, and drink 3 or 4 coffees a day without an issue now. After your mid-morning snack, you move on to lunch. Lunch will be 200 mils of either a broth type soup or a cream of soup plus 200 mils of a protein drink. So you're having 400 mils here. Now it could take me 40 minutes to an hour to finish that. First after my surgery. It takes a while to get things in because you really are sipping very, very slowly. For me, my go-to for soups was cream of soups. The broth soups, not for me, but cream of soups, cream of tomato, cream of chicken were my go-tos. Thank you, Heinz. Delicious. When you've got such a limited diet of what you're allowed to have, it's really amazing to have that. The chicken one does have little bits of chicken in it, but personally I didn't eat those. I just left them on the side of the plate. I was just worried that, you know, anything that was going to have any sort of consistency to it wasn't going to sit well on my stomach. It was supposed to be a liquid only diet, so maybe I was being a bit paranoid, but that's what I did. And as I said, it's going to take you a good 40 minutes to an hour to get that 400 mils down here. And then before you know it, you're on your mid-afternoon snack. And mid-afternoon snack was either 200 mils of a protein-enriched coffee, so again, dried semi-skimmed milk powder in there, or 200 mils of a protein drink. Then you go into your dinner. Dinner is a repeat of lunch again. 200 mils of cream soup, 200 mils of a protein drink. And then you're still not done for the day because you need to have an evening snack of, again, 200 mils of a protein drink. So if you look through all that protein drink you've had 600 mils of protein drink and 330 mils of a UFIT 22 is 22 grams. So you've had 2 bottles of those. So from that 2 bottles of those, you're already at 44 grams of protein. So by adding the dried powder into your coffees, you easily achieved your 60 grams of protein. Easily achieved it. The liquid diet isn't a fun diet. It's something I was very glad when it was over with onto a pureed one, because it's not one full of very, very much taste. But I managed to go through the whole thing without being sick, without having any dumping, without having any issues. And the reason I feel that happened to me was because I listened to my surgical team, because I read the diet plan. I kept it as simple as I possibly could. And, you know, the food's boring. So what? It's 10 days. That's all this lasts for. Some people it's going to be less as well. I've seen some people's liquid diet that's 6 or 7 days. You know, your surgical team is going to have a different idea. As I keep saying, you must listen to your surgical team. But that's it. It's not an overly complicated process, so don't try and make it over complicated. And if you don't want to pay the cost of buying pre-made protein drinks, you can make your own protein milk. They gave me a recipe which was just semi-skim milk powder, vanilla essence, blended together, and there you go. You just stack it full of the dried semi-skim milk powder to rack up the protein, and of course milk has protein source in it already. Blend that together and have 200 mils of that every time it's time. Right, so all I want to say now is the next video that I will do about the pureed stage. If you have any questions you'd like to hit me with, you can either drop them in the comments below. You can find me on Instagram now, fatboyslims2020 on Instagram. The link will be down below as well. Thank you so much for everybody that's been watching my videos, for the amazing comments I've been getting. I'm really there. I don't mind answering questions. I don't mind helping people. Just drop me a line and we'll have a chat. Thank you very much again. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care. See you all next time.